Denver City Council member Candy Debaka, who is running for re-election, says white-owned businesses should be taxed extra and redistributed to black-owned businesses. I'm going to get into this right when I get back, but I'm going to play it for right now.
Capitalism was built on stolen land, stolen labor, and stolen resources. And a check today could not undo the cumulative impact of generations of that stolen wealth in all of those categories. And so I think it has to come in the form of land, labor, and resources in an ongoing fashion. And there are structures that we have that could be flipped to begin to do that reparations. In fact, my opponent here mentioned 5 Points and the corridor and what has happened to our businesses there. Part of what has catalyzed that exponential decimation of black businesses is the 5 Points bid, the Business Improvement District, which further steals from the community through taxation. And I think there's a model that could be redistributed. Instead of a bid collecting extra taxation from the black and brown businesses that are struggling, you could be collecting those extra taxes from white-led businesses all over the city and redistributing them to black and brown-owned businesses who are not part of the bid or who are simply just black or brown-owned. And that's one way to give back in the business form fashion. I think when we talk about resources being returned, this is where consumer-owned or municipally owned resources are important, because we are locked out of owning our control over our basic needs like water or utilities or any of those things. There is a way for us to change that structure and put black and brown people in ownership positions over our basic needs. I also really want to point out that the Basic Income Project could be, if it were focused, an important way to return a check to an individual in an ongoing fashion, but in its current format is not reparations or not close to reparations. One, it doesn't focus on black and brown people. Two, what they are experimenting with is unhoused people, and it's not a livable or prosperous wage, it is a welfare wage, and we know how that has worked. Those types of checks have not served us well, and we need to go far beyond welfare wages and go to prosperous wages, because we don't want to just survive anymore, and reparations goal should not be survival, it should be repairing the harm, which is this entire economy.
Thank you.
Yo, she went off, bro. I was watching it on my phone while I was in the bathroom. Look, man, I'm going to just go ahead and read some of these comments before I go in on this. So for the people who didn't really understand what she was saying, she's basically saying, yo, black and brown businesses are struggling, so what we should do as the city council is take from the white-owned businesses and redistribute it evenly across all the black and brown-owned businesses so they can be a leveled playing field. However you guys feel, that hold your thought. I'm going to read these comments real quick, and we'll go into this together. So, let's see. Thinks that all white-owned businesses are successful enough to carry the weight of others. Not only is that assumption highly racist, she's so racist she thinks you can't make it on your own without the whites holding your hand. Divisive trash. Okay, white people feeling hurt. Just when I thought politics actually made little difference, I've done a complete 180 since 2021. 2024 is going to be a major make or break year for this country. I agree with him. I'm not going to deep dive into no politics stuff, but I do feel like the next year, 2024, is going to be a make or break year. And that's when everybody's going to start to, I've been calling this for a long time, the divide. Okay. Yeah, okay, so I'm seeing that all of this stuff is a whole lot of politics stuff. Okay. Look, man, I'll say I'm gonna say what I feel. I think this is idiotic. I think this is probably one of the stupidest things that can happen. I think this is very dumb. I I, I see how they think it's gonna work, and I see I if I heard it correctly, because like I said, I was listening to it while I was in the bathroom taking a piss. Um, yo, this is her form of reparations. I get it. Black and brown businesses will benefit. Look, I will be one of the people benefiting from this, to be honest, but I don't want no fucking handouts. I built what I had with every pride of my, like, with every fiber of my being, and I'm prideful about it. I never needed a handout. You know, I had family help me out, and that's the only handout that I really got. You know? And I will, for that, I'm forever indebted to my own family. But I'm not indebted to no one else. I will be there for my family 1,000% of the time because they were there for me when I needed it. Yo, but this right here, talking about tax the white people more, the white-owned businesses, and distribute it to the black-owned and brown-owned businesses, to me is one of the most unfair things in the world, because this is the beginning. This is how it'll start. If we tax those owned businesses, who's to say that when things shift, they're not going to tax the brown owned businesses more, and then they're going to tax the black owned businesses more? Yo, what I'm getting at is, if they're owning a business as it is, yo, everybody's just trying to survive. What I've come to realize with owning a business is it's not glamorous all the time, okay? Owning a company is not dandy and sweet, bro. It comes with trials and tribulations. There's been times where I didn't even know how the hell I was going to pull myself out of the water, but I did it somehow anyway. So we're just assuming that all white-owned business. And here's the other thing. Are all of them getting taxed for that? Because here's the thing. I feel like a lot of people just like look at color and then they're just like, fuck them. And I feel you, because there's been a lot of tension in the last couple years when it comes to race. But at the same time, there's a difference between right and wrong. And this is wrong. If we're taxing white-owned businesses just for our own benefit, our meaning black and brown-owned benefit, that's not right, bro. I'm just calling it how I see it. It's not right. The craziest thing is, I would be someone who benefits from something like this. And even then, I'm not rocking with this, bro. What are the criterias? What justifies whether this white-owned businesses will be taxed more? Is it all white-owned? Is it just because they're white and they own the business? Because if that's the case, I see a lot of people going around this and just putting the business under someone else's name. That's what I see happening. If this happens, they're just going to find a way around it. Bro, there's loopholes in this business game as much. You would not even believe how many loopholes there are. People think that, oh, they run a company, they run a business, it's all legit. Bro, there's so many fucking loopholes. It's craziness, man. Why you think Trump and Bezos and Elon Musk are paying less taxes than you and me? Loopholes. Okay? Look, man, like I said, I'm not rocking with this at all. It ain't even nothing to do with no race stuff. It's just unfair and unjust 100% of the way. This is not cool. I'm not rocking with it. I'm not jacking it. And stuff like this is what's gonna, I'm telling you, watch my video from yesterday, watch my RZN Entertainment videos. The divide is gonna start, and it's because people think that they're so goddamn woke and they're doing stuff like this, and it's gonna cause a huge divide between the whole country. And then there's gonna be like segregation where people who, and it's not gonna be segregation based off of race this time. It's gonna be segregation based off of views, life views, and where we stand on our moral beliefs. They're trying to tax white-owned businesses. Who knows if those businesses are even doing good? What if they're struggling? Oh, but just because they're white and they own a business, tax. You know what I see happening is a whole lot of businesses that are going to open that are not registered. Oh, I'm technically not a business, so you can't do that to me. Or, oh, I'm just a face. I don't own it. She owns it. And there's going to be some fucking Hispanic girl in the back. You feel me? So I see there's gonna be loopholes around this, and I surely hope this doesn't happen, bro. For anyone who feels like this is great and yes, let's do this. they're just looking for a handout, bro. Let me see if there's anyone in the comments who like are rocking with this and want this to happen. So you don't have to be competent. You don't have to run a business. You don't have to know how to run a business. You don't have to be successful. You don't have to have a good product. You don't even have to care. You just put your hand out and get it from Whitey. Fantastic. Okay, yo. Look, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying nothing like that, but these comments there's a lot of stuff where people will want to comment and just go back and forth with them. Yo, it's gonna cause a divide, and I feel like shit like this is happening just so people can give their comments and other people can get mad at those comments, and then the divide starts.